heavy, deep, and hollow bassline kicks and metal. Yeah. Southwest London. But the vibe is strictly Long Beach. Check it. Step in the room, fresh suit, tailored fine. Liam Rosie, oozing class from day one, divine. Shaking every hand, greeting the press with a smile. Polite with the ink slinger, staying for a while. But wait, hold up, he's a red devil at heart. Taking the bridges wheel, man, that's a risky start. Nice to meet you, how you doing? It's a charm offensive. While the bridge is looking on, getting all defensive. Don't buy a house yet, don't even sign a lease. The contract's long, but the piece is gonna cease. Yeah, keep kissing R so they don't bury you fast. 3 games in, let's see if that man is gonna last.
Losing class, but the clock is ticking slow. They'll roast you later, Liam, don't you know? From the big dogs down to the bright lane, in the West London sun, but we're feeling the rain.
Tyrone talks football is laughing in the back. Mr. Lingalow's got the axe ready for the crack. Meddy's in the corner, hunting for the XG. Godfrey's Don Salad, too busy to even see. He's plucking straws, trying to find a reason. And that's who women's giving up on a whole season. Christians in the snow, freezing in the cold, while the Chelsea board is buying everything they sold. A 6-year deal, man, that's a comedy show. 12 months later, 40 million out the door you go. You're the new Brighton now, just a feeder on the coast. Polite to the journalists, they're the ones who roast.
Don't get comfortable with sunshine. The purchase won't go through before the pink slip will ride.
Mocking laughter.
Check the stats, check the vibe. The blue flag is flying, but the wind is changing.
So, hello guys, and welcome back to another live stream. And we had to audition our new introductory music, courtesy that has been made by none other than the AI musician Christian. Christian did a great job with that. So there's a lot to talk about from our 3-2 defeat. I can see Mehdi is here. We had Elba a minute ago, but he dropped off because you are having some technical issues, but hopefully he'll be able to come back. So there's really a lot to talk about with Chelsea's 3-2 defeat at Arsenal. Thank you very much, Favor Boy, from watching us from Nigeria. I hope you are able to hear us, and I hope that you are also looking to enjoy the analysis. So Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3, and it was a game of catch up from the first minute. Ben White's header, followed by howler from Sanchez that saw actually Gyökeres score, and then finalized by Merino, who managed to slice down through Chelsea's midfield, and it became quite disastrous. And I was really not impressed with the lineup overall, and it shows the heavy influence that the medical team have over Liam's selection of players. Because one thing that Maresca had complained about a lot was the player selection. He complained heavily about the player selection and how the medical team was influencing how players are being selected. And now, clearly, have a manager who's able now to follow what the medical team is. You can't explain how Gusto, Rhys James, Cole Palmer, um, are all out in a very crucial game. It's like this cup tie was not taken seriously. And you saw the way Ateta had taken this game seriously. He actually brought in Arsenal starting 11 at Stamford Bridge. Despite Arsenal playing this game in second gear, the main bone of contention is how Chelsea did not manage to actually put and impose themselves in this game. And the lineup by itself was already an indicator of what was actually coming. The midfield looked quite not there when it came to overall checking at having a pivot of Andre Santos and Enzo Fernandez. That is not a strong midfield. We are also starting now to get to see the Cucurella that we saw during the pre Enzo Maresca. We are starting to get to see the Cucurella we used to see pre Enzo Maresca. And also looking at the fullbacks option, you see Josh and Cucurella, the centre backs. Again, the thing that happened is that Fofana started on the left and Chalobah started on the right. Fofana is known to be not quite a good centre back with the ball at his feet, and he was being played out of position. So those are some of the areas that you found challenges with that lineup. Then you move into that midfield, you find a very weak pivot, a pivot of Santos and Fernandez, and there was nobody who was strong enough into that pivot. Then you go on to the attack, and then now you have Estevao, who, as much as he's so good with his talent, when it comes to the defensive side of the game, he will not look to offer you something that is super outstanding in that case. And he again went to start Neto down the left, who was ineffective. And when Garnacho came on, Garnacho scored both goals, and you could see that despite Garnacho also being not quite of the standard that we expect Chelsea's wingers to be, but even when he came on, you saw he offered much more compared to what Pedro Neto, because also Neto is playing at a very low confidence. João Pedro again was on the pitch doing absolutely what he does best, which is literally, in my opinion, nothing. And then in attack, McGeough, who could not even outmuscle both Gabriel and Saliba in that Arsenal's backline. Now, the Chelsea versus Arsenal fixture has been a one-sided fixture. Arsenal did to Chelsea what Chelsea always did to Arsenal. They did to Chelsea what Chelsea always did to Arsenal. Arsenal were physical. Arsenal were more experienced. Arsenal managed the game well. Yes, I know Chelsea scored 2 goals, but never did it look like Arsenal were being put on the back foot. It never looked like there was any way in which they were going to lose this game. They looked like they wanted to come in and ensure they killed the game in the first leg. And then this game actually moving in the second leg into Arsenal's home fixture that heavily favors them. Yes, people can talk about that Chelsea might have players coming back, but am I really relying on Chelsea players to come up and turn up away at the Emirates? No. So Arsenal, whatever I saw in that Chelsea versus Arsenal is what I used to see when Chelsea looked to play Arsenal back in the days. Chelsea were more conservative. They had the physicality. They had the most experienced players. They had the better chances, and they would make Arsenal think that they were in the game. But later on, you'd find Drogba or Lampard just going in and finishing off Arsenal. But that is not what we saw with this Chelsea team. We saw a young team. We saw a team with mistakes. We saw the naivety. We saw the lack of togetherness. And then we constantly saw this chopping and changing of players. Today, it is Fofana and the Chalobah who are starting. Tomorrow, it is Tosin and Benoit. Tomorrow, it's Chalobah and Benoit. The other day, it's Fofana and Tosin. There is no consistent spine in this team. The new manager has come in. He's trying to chop and change. He's trying to play players, however, to see how it's going to work. And that's why I was saying the aspect of getting rid of a manager mid-season, I always don't like it because it always results into this. The new manager is coming in. We will beat them at the Emirates Stadium when our players are back. Maybe you're right, but I really hope you have an explanation on that. But Honestly, I really don't see how that's happening. So I was explaining before I introduced Mehdi. These are some of the worrying signs that you see when a manager comes into the team halfway through the season. You start seeing things like this. The manager is learning his team. The manager is learning how he's going to select players. The manager is trying to learn which is his best starting 11. This is why you don't have consistent results with Chelsea, because you have inconsistent lineups. You don't have consistent results because you have inconsistent lineups. You don't know which is the first 11. You don't know which is the starting midfield. You don't know. Nobody can guess that this is the lineup that is going to be put. If it is Arsenal, you know very well that if everybody is fit, it's Raya, it's Timber, it's Saliba, it's Gabriel, it's Calafiori, it's Zubimendi, it's Declan Rice, it is Eze, it is Saka, it is Gyökeres, it's Martinelli. You know. But with Chelsea, you never know. You never know if Palmer is going to play. You never know if Reece James is going to play. You never know if Gusto is going to play. You don't know if it is Santos who's going to start. There is that level of inconsistency, coupled with the young overall age of these players. It just makes it worse. And this is why the title of the video that I did when I was doing my match preview, I talked about, when I was doing my match preview, I was talking about walk the talk. And the reason why I was using this word, walk the talk, is because I was asking myself that he keeps on saying he wants to win. He wants to win now. He wants to focus on the game now. And you're talking boldly after beating Charlton. Even if you give me that Chelsea team, I could manage a comfortable win over Charlton. It's not difficult to beat Charlton with this squad. They can win Charlton. You don't even if there wasn't a coach, the team by itself could beat Charlton because they are good players. So when you come in and you say that you want to win, you want to focus on the game, you are asked the question about set pieces. And this is what annoys me with Chelsea. We had come up with a deliberate way of stopping set pieces. I even did a video on that. The way we were doing it is that we cannot afford to go physicality-wise with Arsenal when it comes to defending set pieces. No. The way we did it is that whenever a team wanted to do a long throw or a set piece, we push our attacking players forward. So you have Garnacho, you have Neto, you have João, you have Neto, you have McGill. You push them forward towards the halfway line. Now, when you push these players forward towards the halfway line, it's going to give Arsenal a question that, should we commit all our players to the set piece, or should we look to try and stop these players? Because if these players get the ball, they're going to score. So that is what Chelsea should have done. Even looking at the long throw when we played Arsenal when we were 9 men, that is the way we looked to defend. So I didn't understand this idea of taking all the players back into the post and having them trying to defend Arsenal. We can't go. We are what we used to call spineless. We have become what Arsenal used to be. Chelsea have become what Arsenal used to be. Arsenal were the ones who were tiki-taki. They had these flair players, and Chelsea were this physical, experienced side, even with an experienced manager in the dugout. But this is where we are. And people are trying to make it like, because this is just showing the season already ended. So I was expecting a bit of fight in the Carabao Cup, a bit of fight in the FA Cup, because I have written off the season. The season to me is written off. I cannot come here and sit here and think that only the players can get top 4. Now, but I don't trust the manager is going to do anything miraculous to get top 4. That is not going to happen. Yeah, so Mehdi, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, so I would like to get your opinion on yesterday's game.
I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like we've come to a point whereby I don't even think there's a point in talking about football anymore. Because I think this is bigger than just the football. I think this goes beyond football. I think this is massively affected by ownership and micromanaging. And also, I feel like we can't really talk about football without addressing the core issues of where most of our problems are coming from. That's the ownership. You know, people say the sporting directors, but they're all just doing what the ownership wants them, right? The ownership wants young players so they can sell them for profits. We know this basically monopolizing our club. And if we go into prizes, right, winning the Carabao Cup is £100,000, but finishing top four, I believe, is 3 million, right, per spot, if I'm not mistaken, right? So of course they're gonna prioritize finishing, you know, in the actual, what do you call it, Champions League spots, because that's gonna bring more money into the club rather than 100,000. It's a really small amount compared to it, or actually almost 17 million pounds actually, you know. Plus, and then the last 16 would also guarantee you around like 11 million euros, which is 9.4 million pounds. So it's no surprise that all of a sudden Gittins, Delap, James, Gusto have all gone missing out of nowhere, right? Because this is bigger than football now. This is them just being smart, because you can't tell me that Delap and Gittins, who are like fit 2 days ago, we perfectly saw, you know, playing, and now all of a sudden they're just ill. And you know, Palmer is gonna probably be there for the weekend. James is gonna be there for the weekend, but we know why. It's because they have certain financial goals that they're trying to meet, and that's not being reflected on the pitch. They don't care about the Carabao Cup. What's £100,000 gonna do for them? You know, they need that heavy bag so they can invest back in the club so they can make profit. So I don't even know if there's a point talking about football anymore, Tyrone, to be honest with you.
You've really made a great point. I've seen Elba is watching. Elba, you can rejoin. You had a lot to say, and we had some technical issues. So I would really kindly like to ask you to rejoin, please, Elba. So I think you've really made a clear explanation. It's all about, that's why I was saying, when I looked at the lineup, I saw board influence. I saw the influence of the board. I saw the influence of the medical team. Whenever I was told that Delap, James, Gusto, there was a bunch of players, Gusto, Gittens, all of them were out. I was like, this is the medical team. This is the medical team. And you see, this is why Maresca said that he had the worst 48 hours in his time at Chelsea. Because the medical team, you saw even there's news that they are now part of the bench. One of the representative of the medical team is part of the bench. He's there to remind the coach that you have to take this player off now.
Wow.
So, and it's coming out that Luis Enrique said that after he had whatever Chelsea are planning, he decided not to select not to select not to take the Chelsea job. You know, he was interviewed before Pochettino. He came with his ideas. He said, this is how I can make Chelsea win. Because if you tell me that if they gave Luis Enrique that team, imagine if they gave Luis Enrique that team after Graham Potter, what we will be today. We will probably be challenging from the Premier League. We will even probably have won maybe the Champions League or something. Because that's a winning manager. But that winning manager has to be given the right to make decisions. Favor boy, are you trolling or what? I hope you're not trolling.
I don't think he's trolling. I've actually heard some Chelsea fans say that.
You know, I don't usually understand how we generally compare having more possession as playing well.
We did not play well that game. It was so obvious.
We did not play that well just because we kept the ball. Which areas of the pitch did we keep the ball? Did we keep the ball because we were good at keeping the ball, or it was Arsenal allowing us to keep the ball in areas where we offered no threat? Who had the better chances? Who had the most corners? Who had the most shots? You see, that is where you determine whether you dominated the game or not. It's all about who had the better chances, who had more corners, who had more set
Higher
pieces,
XG.
and it was Arsenal. It's Arsenal who were putting the ball in the most dangerous areas, not us.
I mean, some of Arsenal's chances were made from us just shooting ourselves on the foot. Sanchez for that second goal, and the first goal was also João Pedro losing his man. You know, this is another thing that really confuses me is that it feels like whatever manager we get, João Pedro just starts every game, even though he's a passenger on the field. I don't know if that's word influence or it's just like a Mason Mount thing where managers see something that we don't see.
He does not score goals. He doesn't make any assists. He doesn't press. He doesn't track back. And there was a time when we had a 4v3 and he had
I
the
remember
ball
that. Yeah.
and he hit the ball towards Rice. And then when he lost that ball, he was the closest player to that ball. He just threw his hand and never bothered to track back. And that is what made Cucurella get that yellow card.
Small things like that. I will say though, wait, he's saying we had some good clear chances from Estevao and we almost drew the game. Brother, go look at the stats. Arsenal had almost 3 XG. We didn't even accumulate 1 XG. Those chances that Garnacho scored were very difficult chances. Like, you know, if you go see the replay for that first goal, that was not an easy shot. The angle was really against him. The second goal was a decent distance far away, and we were lucky it took a bounce and went in. So, no, we did not create better chances. We really did not. I don't even remember like a shot inside the box apart from Garnacho's, to be honest with you.
Yeah, thank you. I also want to talk about these 3 things. You know, today I had prepared myself. I'd tried to assess this thing. One thing I can say is that the intensity of the team fell off. Especially, I do understand as talented as Estevao is, he's not one of the best players for Chelsea when Chelsea don't have the ball. He's not. So he's somehow a liability. So when you have him and you have João Pedro together, then it means that you have 2 passengers on the pitch. Because João Pedro is never going to press. He's never going to press. According to him, he's Ronaldinho. He doesn't have to press because he's scoring tens of goals for us. I already talked about the set piece issue. You look at that set piece, and again, it was João Pedro's positioning. But again, I said this. Did you remember when we played Arsenal with 10 men?
Yes.
Did you see how we handled the set pieces?
Oh yeah, we get 3 or 4 players off the pitch, so they had to even pin their own players behind. And they gave more space for Sanchez to collect the ball.
So why did we choose to go and crowd players inside the box? You see, this is where I always say I don't really understand, because the set piece coach never changed. The set piece coach remained. And that's why I'm even doubting whether this guy... Yeah, Bernardo Cueva never went. He's still with the team. It's not Enzo who brought him. He was not part of his backroom staff. And you see, this guy was regarded as... And you see, this guy was regarded as the success to Brentford set pieces. I've never seen Chelsea improving in set pieces with him. We don't score a lot. We started scoring a lot. Nowadays, we don't score a lot. We are either putting the ball so close to the near post that the ball just goes out. And, sometimes I'm always disappointed with this team. Sometimes we are putting the ball so close to the near post that it amounts to absolutely nothing. Or we start this short corners thing. I hate this short corner thing. It's the 87th minute. You want to win the goal. You want to get a goal. You're still seeing these people playing a short corner. What the hell are you doing with a short corner? Just go direct. I've never seen us scoring from a short corner. I don't know why we keep on doing it. There's a point in time when I saw the overall mood of the fans in the stadium was like it's a tense moment. It's clearly a tense moment, and I can say that the steam is simmering. It's going to be ugly in Stamford Bridge very soon. It's going to be super ugly, super ugly. And one thing that is going to, that's why I feel very bad for this young guy. I know some people think that probably I don't dislike. I don't even blame him because he did not put himself into that situation. But the hate for the board is going to be transferred to him. That is what is going to happen. The hate for the board, for the selection, is going to be transferred to him. You know that?
Yeah, I mean that's what they usually do, right? Because they have I don't know if you've noticed, but they have a line of fall guys, so they don't really get criticized. So you have the manager, and then it's the sporting directors. So the last person that'll come under the line of fire from the public will be the owners. So they'll obviously have a lot of people take the blame first, so they can retain control of the club, so they can keep their power, they can not lose their financial withholding. So I can't really blame the manager. I can't really blame anyone because everything is being so micromanaged. No one really has any autonomy. So until we really get Bluko out, nothing is realistically going to change, to be honest. And if there are people who are going to say, "Oh, it's Rosinho," then I'm sorry to say you're kind of in fairyland.
You see, there is even the lack of inspiration in this team. And there is news that is breaking now is that Enzo Fernandez is trying to assess his options. And it seems like PSG are in for him. That means Luis Enrique wants him. And again, they signed him they signed Enzo on huge amounts of money. I don't think they will hesitate. If PSG drop a 100 million or a 90 million bid for Enzo, he's gone. That is one thing
I don't think it's the end of the world to lose Enzo. Plus, I don't think with Enzo it's about Maresca. I remember there was an issue earlier. That Reece James was being paid more than him, and I think he wasn't happy about that. So I think it's also something related to this as well.
But you see, there is no even talk about improving his contract. And then another thing, under Maresca, he thought that there was a bit of stability. Now, you're in a situation where, as a club, you are being signed, you are being told that you are building a team to win. So, as a player, the only thing that can motivate you to play for Chelsea is money. Not because you're going to win anything. Is money because they don't have a blueprint of building a team. They don't have a blueprint of looking to build a team that is actually going to challenge for titles. They don't have a blueprint for building a team that is going to go toe-to-toe with the best. They don't have a blueprint of building a team that is going to aspire to win trophies. So if you're not winning trophies, if you don't have a manager who has a winning mentality, because you cannot come here, you've not won anything. It was even better that Maresca won a championship cup. Here you have a manager who has won nothing. He doesn't have any record of winning anything. Then you are bringing him to coach players who have won Champions League titles like Reece James and Cole Palmer, who have won Premier League titles at other clubs. Majority of these players have not won. They have won the Club World Cup. So these players have won more than their own manager. And this manager is the one who's supposed to come and teach them to win. How are you going to teach them to win, yet you've not won anything yourself? So the only thing and these players are on low wages and very long contracts. So if you're not paying them good enough money for them to be like, okay, there's no problem, I can still stay here and earn this money. So you're paying them peanuts. There's no ambition to win. It's just chaotic. And then it has reached a point whereby the board and I don't know whether it is Ekbali or so. He runs the club so emotionally. I don't care whether Simon Jordan comes to Talksport and says how Ekbali is such a smart football person. He's not a smart football person, because you cannot collect a team that finished fourth, then sack a manager who won then the Champions League, then hire Porter, who comes and fails terribly, and then you have to sack him in the middle of the season. Then you bring in Lampard and it goes haywire. Then you bring in Pochettino, then he finishes sixth. Then you bring in Maresca, he finishes fourth and wins you trophies. And then during the December period, you put so much pressure on him because you've signed a substandard squad. Now he has to heavily rely on his first team players. And then when he makes noise about it, he's kicked out of the club and hounded out of the club. Then you bring in a manager who is currently seventh, who has won one game out of his last 7 games, who has no record of winning. And then you expect these players to continue buying the project. And that is why even Liam feels embarrassed talking about the project. I think you've heard what he said. Whenever he's asked about the project, he's like, no, I don't care about the project. I want to win the next game. Why can't he say about the project? Because the minute you start talking about the project is when the fans will, oh my God, the minute they bring that project thing again, I'm telling you, they're going to they should never mention that word called project, because
But
they
there is
clearly
no
do not want
project.
a project. Yeah, because
Yeah,
there's no
there is no
project.
project.
You see, this is
Just
the
trying
thing
to
that they keep on.
monopolize the club. Yeah. I mean, there's no like model or formula to win. It's just like, okay, we're gonna run this like it's a factory. We're gonna get some input. We're gonna sell our products after we, you know, establish them, and we're gonna make money at the end of the day. It's just become another, as we say, just another Brighton, you know. Chelsea are becoming that stepping stone club. I think we're becoming what Arsenal are, while Arsenal are becoming what we were. You know, I remember, you know, it's a bit sad because when you grow up, you remember how much we used to beat Arsenal every time. Even the year when we finished 10th, we beat them twice under Mourinho. You know, and now you see Arsenal, we haven't beaten them in what, 7 years at the bridge?
It has
It's
been like that,
disgusting.
and this is a team that we used to flog for fun. That's why I said we became what Arsenal used to be. We don't have experience. We don't have the physicality. We don't have even the managerial experience. We don't have it. This is how these people have turned this club. That's why immediately Zubamendi scored the third goal, I switched off the TV and I went to bed.
Really?
That is what
You
I did.
didn't see the second goal?
I didn't even see the second goal. I don't even know who scored it. I just
It
switched
was
off and I went to
Garnacho
bed.
again.
I don't even know how he scored it. I've not even watched it. Because
It was
this is
almost an
what it is.
avoiding.
Because this is what it is. So Elba, how are you? You are cycling and you are the one who was the first to join, and you had a lot to say, and sorry for the technical hitch.
Yes, no worries. I just needed to trying to get my 30 miles for today, so I'm halfway there.
Type shit.
Um, Meds, how are you? Hello, everybody.
I'm okay. We're good,
Yeah,
we're good.
Meds. Oh, nice, nice. I've been trying to keep a couple of points. Meds made that point because I did hear that from somebody else. That it looks like the Premier League, obviously, from a financial standpoint, is more important than the Carabao Cup, even though you're wondering why Arsenal won that because of heritage, right? I think Arsenal have 14 FA Cups. We have 8. That's the heritage, right? That's the heritage of the club. Winning trophies is heritage. And you can't tell me Arsenal being number 1 on the Premier League, who have shown more ambition, are taking this game more seriously. I mean, look at how Arteta was celebrating. So it tells you it's not about the 100,000, it's about the cup, which adds to the heritage and the legacy of the football club. So I'm saying all this to preface clearly, we have a set of people that do not care about the legacy. We're just being bombarded with PR merchants confusing our head. I mean, we'd have to talk with Medi, what type of psychological warfare is being used against us from a PR perspective. And so, you know, some people would put the argument that we do have a good team, and that's true. We do have good players, but I beg to ask, what makes a good team a good team? Is it just putting world class players? Is it the environment? Is it the club? Historically, when we talk about, oh, this is a good team, what makes a good team a good team? Does it mean they have to have the best players in the world? Because we've seen Real Madrid and the Galacticos, and they got the best player in every position, and it didn't mean they won everything. So there's
We even
something about balance.
PSG also.
PSG as well. So maybe we can start with that. What makes a team a good team? Because I don't think right now with the mixture of our team that we have a good team. Now, when you look at it on the surface level, yeah, we have Reece James, we have this set of this person here, but there's a lot of details or things that go into when you say a team is good. You guys mentioned inspiration, right? How can somebody inspire me? They have to have done or walked a path that I have not done before. So you have inexperienced players. Yeah, they might get inspiration from Reece James. They might get inspiration from Fofana. But then historically, these players have been injury prone, which means they go in and they go out. And then you've decided that you want to hire whatever, I don't even know the permissives of the type of coaches, but now you have inexperienced players. Now you sprinkle it with inexperienced coach. So where's the inspiration gonna come from? I'm truly asking, where is the inspiration gonna come from? It's not rocket science. They cannot just inspire themselves to win. They need somebody that has done it. When Tuchel came to Chelsea, and again, I'm not a Tuchel merchant, like, oh, I can't let go of Tuchel. It's just very interesting the chain of words he used when he came. The fact that he said, I'm gonna make us difficult to beat. But he wasn't just saying that as words. He meant that as for the team. I used to Tyrone and Medi. I used to listen to Tuchel's um, press conferences, and you could hear the choice of words. You could tell that this person was a serial winner. So I won't even be so upset with the player trading if we got a top class coach. But clearly, obviously, a top class coach is going to clash with the way things are being done, coupled with the fact that there's no continuity in the team. So you have inexperienced players, and now you're chopping and changing the inexperienced players. Come on, man. This is bound to fail. It's so obvious because Jackson was here, now Jackson is gone. Maresca was here, now Maresca is gone. There are rumors, and we talked about it, and I put it in the chat, that Enzo Fernandez might be thinking about his days being numbered. Here's why. Enzo Fernandez has won the World Cup. And you cannot brainwash players that, you know what, it's the project, but it's going to take 7 years. Because they want to win. You cannot brainwash a player. Okay, don't forget about winning. Just make your money. Most players, it's in their DNA to win. So after a while, let's not forget how Enzo Fernandez forced his move from Benfica to Chelsea. And don't be surprised, he can do that. He can show that same behavior if he gets tired of the
And let
shenanigans
me
of
tell
what is going on. No,
and let me tell you something, Elba. I wouldn't blame Enzo if he did it, because one thing about Enzo is that he was here. He was here. He came during the January transfer window. He was here when Chelsea had Potter as a manager. He saw Potter. He went through Lampard. He went through Pochettino. He went through Maresca. He's now on his 5th manager, and he's just been at Chelsea for 3 seasons. Where is he going to get that continuity? This Liam guy, they're probably going to sack him by the end of next season, because he's also going to find it impossible. The pressure is going to come from the fans. He cannot select players because the medical team has to select players. He has to play players so that they don't lose their market value. You have to please a board that looks on stocks and numbers and shares. They don't look at what is on the pitch. They don't prioritize winning. So there is no idea, there is no initiative to win. There is initiative to make profit. And if that is the initiative about the team and the club, then the club is going to fall. The fans are going to lose it, because now Chelsea fans are at a point whereby you can't tell them about project. You can't sell hopes about next season, because this season, I am more than certain sure that we are not going to finish in the top 4. So are you going to tell me that we finished in the top 4 last season and we won the Club World Cup and we won the Conference League, and this season the aim was at least to try and finish 3rd and try to win even an FA Cup or a Champions League or something? Then the next season probably we should be, even this season we are the season where we were supposed to be contending. We should have been this Aston Villa team this season. It is not Aston Villa that should have been there. It should have been us who are there. But now we are not even sure of finishing in the top. The only way we can finish in the top 4 is if Liverpool, Manchester United are so poor that we are able to scrap it up towards the end. But that is the way it is. Do I trust this manager to do it? I can't trust him. He doesn't have the experience to do it. He will talk all big, how he wants to win. I even saw him yesterday saying that I am happy about whatever I see. You're just happy because you are, for the first time, you are coaching quality players. But as fans, we can't see anything. We can't be happy when we are seeing João Pedro not tracking back, when João Pedro is losing balls, when you have Achimpong as your most advanced attacker. How is Josh Achimpong, a player who's not known for his attacking prowess, being Chelsea's most attacking player? There's even a point when he forced Estevao to move in field where it is clogged. Estevao does not have the physicality to receive the ball in tight spaces. You give him the ball in space, then you allow him to run against his fullback. He actually put Josh into that position. Enzo Fernandez, who has been one of our most creative players, was being used in a deeper position. And why is this the case? Because the manager is new. He doesn't understand the strengths of these players. He doesn't know that this is the strength of this player, this is the strength of this player, this is the strength of this other player. So he's constantly experimenting. To him, this is a write-off season. To him, this is an early preseason. So next season is when we can now say that, okay, this is the way he wants to play. But to him, this is a preseason. That's why I said, even if they have an issue with Maresca, there's no problem. I have no problem even if they sacked Maresca. But I was like, even if they have an issue with him, give him the latitude to finish the season. Then once he's done with the season, now bring in the manager that you want to bring in when he has a full preseason.
I think another point we have to consider is when Elba asked what makes a team world class, it has to be every aspect, right? Like for example, you need world-class players, yes, you need a world-class manager, but you also need a very competent and world-class board, right? Any mismatch on any of these can cause potential issues, can cause inconsistencies. And we can't really talk about transitions when you look at a team like Manchester City, who are going through a transition. You know, a lot of their players aged out, a lot of their players have been replaced. Rodri's aging out, but yet they're only 6 points behind Arsenal, you know? I think that just shows how, regardless of the ethical considerations of their board, we can't deny how well they've managed their club. You know, they've really replaced well, and they brought in the best manager in the world and gave him the tools to be able to implement, whilst at the same time managing a transitional period where they need to now integrate young players and also bring in experience, and they've done that. And now you can slowly see the old players like De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, they're slowly being phased out, and the new words are slowly coming in. And yet they're still second. They're still the closest thing to Arsenal, and it's not that far away for them to be able to even potentially win it, you know? So we can't really keep using that excuse of, oh, rebuild. So it's because they're all competent from all levels. And I think for Chelsea, there's probably some world-class players. I think the managers are good enough, but I think everything above it is just an absolute mess.
My opinion was that Chelsea's idea, and I have to say this honestly, I've seen the news I've seen the news of what Luis Enrique said, and I was like, you sacked Porter, you finished 12th. This is a manager who has won the treble. This is a manager who knows how to win. This is a manager who came with a clear blueprint of how he's going to work with the players that you have to develop the team. Then you want to pick for him players. You want to have the power to sell his first team players. You don't want continuity because you want to do player trading. And then you left Luis Enrique and you went for Pochettino. And even the Pochettino yes man that you brought in could still walk out on you because he couldn't work with you. Because let me tell you something. Pochettino was the most patient guy. He's one of the most likable managers. You'll never hear controversy with Pochettino. He managed to wait till the end of the season. And then towards the latter edges of the season, he said that his position at the club is not confirmed. He doesn't know even if he will be at the club at the end of the season. And you know very well that things were boiling in the background. It's just that Pochettino has been here in the highest level for a while, so he just played it down. But the reality is, things were getting out of hand. They brought in Jackson. They say they were having Jackson is not the silver bullet draft. It's not like if you bring in Jackson that Jackson will do everything. It's not like if you bring Jackson, all of a sudden everything is going to change.
I think some of these fans, as much as I hate to say it, have been a victim of a lot of the PR stunts that Bloke are putting in our faces. Because you have nowadays, I don't know if you've noticed, is you have fans arguing amongst themselves. You know, I think Chelsea fans are arguing with themselves a lot nowadays. Even if you go see fan cams outside, Chelsea fans are arguing quite a lot. Because they're like, oh, that's the issue, no, that's the issue, this player is good enough, that's not good enough. It's all a distraction. Like, we know where the real issue is, so go target the real issue. Jackson is, at best, yes, he's better than João Pedro, but he's not a player who's gonna elevate you to that next level. He's still young, he still needs development. And guys, I think it has come to a point where we need to understand that this is beyond football, as I've said. We need Osimhen. We're not gonna get Osimhen. We're not gonna get
That's
any of
why
these players. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I'm saying, that's why I'm asking if Favorboy is trolling or what is he doing? Because he's telling me that I should work on the tactics of this game, that we need Osimhen, not Jackson. And I'm like, it's not even a personnel problem, it's a system problem. You see, the reason why we went into that terrible run in December, it showcased that, yes, Maresca won Manager of the Month in November. What happened in December? It was quite clear that things had gotten worse in behind the scenes. Look at what happened before Thomas Tuchel got sacked. We finished third with him. We started the season well. Then all of a sudden we lost to Leeds. I don't know, we lost to who, we drew with who, and then Thomas Tuchel was gone. It showed that the issue was not on the pitch. And people don't know this. Whatever happens away from the pitch is more important than what happens on the pitch. Because you have players can see if there is a problem.
And guys, every Chelsea fan out there, I urge you not to buy the Kool-Aid that the board is trying to sell you. That Chelsea is gonna become this world-class team, that we're good enough to challenge for titles, that we're gonna eventually build a team to fight the Premier League. These are just things to help us cope, to give us hope, so they can actually do what they want to, and that's making profit. I seriously urge the fan base to open up their eyes and see where the true problem is, and that's in the ownership. And until the ownership is gone, guys, we cannot just sit here
I don't know if some of you are trolling here purposefully or what, because this looks like a troll.
No, I've seen, bro. You know, I'm not even lying. I've seen some people actually believe that it needs time. Some people actually believe we're good enough. We are dejected, right? After that loss against Arsenal, we know we're not that bad. But then you have some Chelsea fans who say, we can go to the Emirates and we can win. And like, I'm like, guys, come on, man, be serious. These are not the standards we should be holding in this club. We should not be happy with a loss at home to our main rivals, regardless of circumstances, right? And I know it's 3-2, but even performance-wise, we weren't good enough. But the issue is bigger. It's always bigger. We need to, if we were in London, we would protest, but we're not. So we need to just support those fans who are protesting. We need to voice our concerns against the ownership. And until they're gone, we will never get our old Chelsea back. We will end up as mid-table mandem.
Because this is what pains me a lot, is that fans try to push this player, if this player and this player plays, if we bring this player and this player. The issue is beyond the players. The issue is beyond the manager. I have said this. We were winning games without Palmer. Somebody has told me that if somebody is saying that if Palmer and Estevao and Jackson start in the same team, I was saying that when Palmer was injured, we were winning games. We had scored more goals in the Premier League. In fact, we were the team that scored most of the goals in the Premier League. We scored more goals. We had a better defense. We were second when Palmer was not there. We were doing well without Palmer. Even Estevao wasn't starting each game. It was Neto who was playing, and he was playing well. Moises Caicedo has just had one red card this season. He has not had red cards. He has just had one that has made him to be suspended. But again, that is an issue that came out this season. And why are we having these red card issues? Because as much as we
oh my God, Tyrone, have you seen the issue with Kinetic? Do you see what they did?
Who?
Basically, Chelsea Football Club, right? Sporting director Joe Shields. There was McFarlane got promoted to the main coaching team, right? The under-18 coaching team has been there for 7 years. But because Joe Shields has connections to a nonprofit organization called Kinetic Academy, someone from Kinetic Academy got the role ahead of that experienced person, head coach who's been there for 8, 7 years or whatever, even longer. And the under 18 coach actually got demoted. They changed his role to loan manager or something because that position was also given to another member of Kinetic Academy, all because they have ties to Joe Shields. So now Joe Shields is even giving power to people within organizations that he has connections to. And the actual coaches and people who have actual experience are being pushed to less minor roles.
Elba,
I'm here. What's up?
I just want you to talk about that Joe Shields thing. I've not even looked at it. This club is just one big mess. It's one big mess. I don't even understand why people are talking about players. We are supposed to sign this. We are supposed to do this. We are supposed to do these red cards. We didn't have red cards with Pochettino, and we finished sixth. Yes, you have the mic.
Elba, starting to you.
No, I'm here. You wanted me to talk about the Joe Shields, what Mary just said, or
Yeah.
I mean, I heard about it, and again, apparently they've worked together, even with the assistant coach now. So it looks like they're trying to run Chelsea like a hedge fund now, you know, and that's unfortunate because the fans were the ones that are gonna suffer. So, and again, I don't want this to be a complaining party. I feel like I'm always with this stance. I'm kind of like Mehdi. I have a background in engineering, so I like to look at things from a system level. So I'll look at the team as a system, and then I'll look at the how the team is built as a system, and then the club as a whole. And I think a long time ago, I bought the Kool-Aid that this is a project. And then I was like, from a system level, this doesn't look like it's a healthy environment for somebody to work in. There's too many hands in the kitchen. Even the sporting directors. How many sporting directors do we have, guys? I think it's three or four.
I think it's four, right? There's Joe
Right.
Shields with Stanley. I don't know who else.
Right.
Lawrence Stewart.
So four sporting directors, multiple owners, which is a consortium. I've always known that the owners, the sporting director, and the coach all have to have the same vision and be in tandem with the same vision to be able to have a successful footballing enterprise on the pitch. So clearly, that is not happening. Now, we can ask, I think there's a quick solution to this, which is get a world class coach. But the question is, what world class coach would be able to survive in this environment? They might have the best tactics. They might be a vampire mix of Thomas Tuchel, Antonio Conte, Jose Mourinho, and Alex Ferguson. The hybrid. They can better than AI. They figure everything out. They're super AI coach. Still, no matter how good they are tactically, there's so much that goes into what a world class coach does or manager. There's motivation, there's inspiration, but there's no world class coach that's going to want to work in an environment where you're constantly overriding their decisions. You're constantly micromanaging them. They're a manager for a reason. If you look at it and the worth of the players, they are the manager for a reason, like literally a manager. Imagine a manager and constantly all the time you have an owner who's always standing outside of the factory. Every time. He's constantly looking on the cameras at the manager, not even the workers, at the manager. How uncomfortable would that be? You're a manager for a reason, which
It's-
is I trust you to make the best decisions. I trust that you are well experienced in this better than I am. So I give you the keys. And then every now and then we make updates. What do you need? How can we help?
You see, that is one thing that I like about. Um, thank you very much, Elba, for putting out this. It's the same thing that used to happen with Roman. He used to come once in a while. I've never even seen Stan Kroenke at the Emirates. I've never even seen him. Sheikh Mansour only came when Manchester City were winning the Champions League. He's never bothered. Never comes. Even the Tottenham Hotspur owners. Ineos, I've seen him a couple of times. Favor, you are really trolling. You are trolling. Favor boy is trolling. Yeah, he's trolling. Trolling. Can't say something like this.
Flavor is trying to get you off your game. You can't even say the thought that you had just now.
He's trolling. Drav, can you come in? You have a lot to say. Can you come in? I've shared the link on the comment section. Can you come in and ask questions?
I think it's
Graham
Drew.
Hunter, Dhruv. Yeah, there's one thing I wanted to say that I've seen PYS post about Ben Jacobs. So this is what Ben Jacobs said. That Chelsea have discussed about Bournemouth centre back Marcos Senesi, who turns 29 in May. But Chelsea are more inclined to look for a younger name. Tabs are being kept on Jeremy Jacquet and Jacobo Ramon. I don't even know who those are. And have scouted Toulouse centre back Charlie Cresswell. Who's that? Chelsea
I have
looked
no
at
idea.
signing Van Dijk before he signed a new deal with Liverpool last year.
But you see,
Guehi was explored. Guehi was explored by the club, but he was ruled out last summer. So they looked at Guehi and I was like, "Nah, we don't want him. We are going to sign Heart of the 18-year-old." Before PSG had a very successful interview with Clearlake at Cobham before PSG, he actually had a good interview, but he looked at how he was being told to work. He was like, "I'm never going to work here." And he said, "I'm taking that job." He's so interfering with owners, 62 directors of football and problem. Yeah, there are too many pots in the kitchen. Tyrone read my last 3 message stories about Luis Enrique. Yeah, I think I've given you an opportunity to join so that you can share. I am busy at work. So who's Frank? Frank, how are you? How are you, Frank?
Yeah, I'm fine, Tyrone. How you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Are
Hello,
you
can
the
you
one
hear
who's
me?
called Favor Boy? Yeah, I can hear
No,
you. Are you
no,
the
I'm
one
not.
who's called Favor Boy?
No,
Okay.
no, no, I'm not. That guy is trolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Actually, can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you, bro.
All right. The point is this: our club is in a mess. Honestly speaking, it's in a shamble, and we as fans we have to just do the needful by protest. If it's that all we Chelsea fans from Nigeria can just go to London and protest in front of our owner, the owners, is more or less like a good thing in itself, because no project goes like this. No project. If you look, even Tottenham project does not go like this. Even Tottenham, as you know, last week they bought our boy Gallagher. Like Tottenham won't have that inspiration to win. The owners want that they have that inspiration. They want to win. But it's only our club in England that have this ideology that okay, we want just trade players for money. It's really bad, it's shameful for the fact that we are the only club in London that have a prestige. We have Champions League, 2 Champions League, but we are messing no one. We are playing, we are running the club like as if is a middle club. Like even small teams want to be at our position, want to have that prestige that we have, but see where we are. It's unfortunate, honestly speaking. But the point is, I'm just short of words. Even the last match that the loss that we lost to Arsenal, some people were saying that we did not have 5 key players on the pitch. I was like, come on, man, this is Arsenal. Arsenal are a complete team. Do you expect Chelsea to win Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium? If you expect Chelsea to win Arsenal at the Emirates with this our squad, with this our new manager, then you must be delusional. You must be on, like, I don't know. You're not a Chelsea fan. You're not a Chelsea fan. Because the whole project is a scam. It's a scam. And the owners don't want to tell you that it's a scam. Everything, we people, okay, on the 17th now on 17th of this month, which we are going to play with Brentford, the Chelsea fans are going to protest against the owners at London, at Stamford Bridge, because I've had enough of this. This is not our club. I cannot recognize my club. This is not my club at all.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Go on. Yeah, I'm hearing you. Can go on.
Yeah. That's why I want to ask you. You are talking about a project. I'm asking you which project.
I don't know. They sold us the project that, because when they bought they bought our club from a Roman, they told us that we have a project that we're going to win. All of us, we bought the idea. We are amazed. Okay, yeah, we are good at this. That new owners are going to get experience. Like, we did not know that we're walking into how will I put it? That we're walking into a pot of fire. So we do not know.
There is no idea or plan with the stadium. We have not had a shirt sponsor now, 3rd season going. We don't have a shirt sponsor. There is no idea of signing as an experienced player. There is no idea of having continuity within the squad, because there is an idea of actually selling players, first team players. Enzo Fernandez, whenever you hear these stories, it's quite clear he wants to go, and they are going to sell him because it's profit. I cannot. Just a minute first. I cannot blame Enzo. I cannot blame Enzo for wanting to leave. Palmer might actually be pulling a Mason Mount. Remember when Mount wanted to leave, he was all of a sudden always injured, never playing. He was always injured. Maybe you don't know. Maybe he forwarded a transfer request behind the scenes, and so they are using this injury thing so that he doesn't get injured, so that they can sell him at a high price. You know, there's also that kind of thing that these guys are capable of doing.
Yeah.
Cucurella is...
No, Cucurella is a...
Cucurella has... you can clearly see that he's not... his head is not here. Reece James, he loves the club, but he has to choose his career or the club. Caicedo, I don't even know where he lies nowadays. João Pedro can't run, can't defend, can't track back, can't score goals. The two left, the right wing has Estevao, who's a very good dribbler, but when you look down the left, nothing is happening down the left. So it's just one huge chaotic thing. Maybe you can say something before Elba and then Frank.
Um, I mean, first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Frank for not being uh polarized by all the PR stunts that they keep in our face. It's really nice and refreshing to hear Chelsea fans actually come and say that they want the ownership out, that they know they're not naive enough to believe that they can go to the Emirates and actually get something or fall for that Kool-Aid. I think it's really nice to see the fan base wake up a little bit, and I think the more action we take, the quicker we can get them out. Hopefully, because I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think there's anything that prevents them from selling the club. And I think if they do sell it, they will make a profit. So if there's enough pressure, if a lot of us can make a large scale, big intervention, then we can actually, maybe apply that pressure. It's the only way right now, to be honest with you. So because the squad building is just poor, I feel like some of our academy players are better than some of the people they've brought in. Because Badia Shield, Disasi, what other center backs do we have? Like, think about these center backs, and then you see Chalaba and Ashapong are better than them. Tyreek George is probably better than Gittins as well, and we spent 50 million on Gittins. So there's just poor squad building, destroying our club for money. It's just really nice and refreshing to see. So you shout out to him. You shout out to the rest of the Chelsea fan base, and guys, please just keep the pressure up. It's all we can do to really get our club back.
Elba, my guy Elba, and then Frank.
Yeah, I second that. I really Frank touched up on some key points about we were sold a dream, and I think Maresca overperformed his XG by winning the Club World Cup. Conference League, maybe that was guaranteed, but the Club World Cup, that was a boost. And I always felt that that was a double-edged sword because on one end we were like, yeah, the project is working, and I think the owners were just rubbing their hands in the background like, yeah, this buys us time. Um, I've not read. I know that. So I know these guys are private equity, and what private equity usually do, they look for distressed assets. If you think about how Chelsea was sold because of the Ukraine war, and they went after the Russian oligarchs, so Abramovich had to sell. So essentially, it was distressed in the level of, at least from my understanding, it was sold for less than what it was worth. So now they're gonna overhaul it, which they did. They fired everybody. They've cleared the old portfolio of players, and now they have a growing set of portfolio of players. How many years are we into the project? Some people say they can't sell it till for at least 10 years, which will work in line with they will continue to do this. I think there's 4 more years left. And if they can sell the club for 7, 8 billion, they will do it. And I brought that point to say I wouldn't be surprised they're not interested in a stadium because they don't plan to own this asset or the club. They have other assets on their balance sheet, by the way, if you look at Clear Lake in different sectors. Sports is just very interesting to Ekbali. He's like, wow, I can trade these players. I can make 20 million, 30 million. Oh man. If you even think about the stockpiling of the players that we buy at, you can tell they're doing this stuff like football manager. It's certain areas of the pitch. And I think they're like, these players are worth the most. Like we stock up on wingers, I noticed it, and midfielders. And so this is our fate. I mean, I didn't watch the game yesterday. I've not been watching the games. So I'm not putting any money into this, but there are people that are season ticket holders, and hopefully more and more of us can see this grift that is happening to our club, and we can protest by not giving money to the club.
Now, before Frank comes, I still want to ask you a question. What is your idea on this idea that they are planning to sign a center back? Yet Maresca asked for a center back and they told him to work with what he has.
No, that's not
Because
true. But it's just there to like distract us. Obviously, it's not true. I think we all know that. They might just recall someone back from loan and say, "Oh, we got a center back."
right, because we have Malon, we have Sar, and I watched him play for Senegal because Koulibaly got injured, and he did well for 60 minutes. So again, you never know with these people. They're like, that's the guy. He did it. He was in the semi-final of the AFCON. In the end, this what they're doing has never been done and worked successfully. So you can't tell me everybody else is dumb and you're the only rocket scientist in data of 60 plus years. This has never been done. Even if you look at it from a basketball perspective, Oklahoma City Thunder, before they won their championship, they had a core team. And it took them years before it worked out. Golden State at the same time, but during those years, they weren't drastically changing pieces, trading players on. They had a core of those young players, and then those young players became mature, and then they won. That you can say Kopama is the spine of the team, but I find this very interesting. If Enzo Fernandez leaves, Kopama is probably gonna leave next. You can't tell me these guys are okay with just being. They want to be the best, and the best want to be the best because what comes with being the best is that they also win trophies and championships.
Tyrone.
I'm seeing they're even now. Yes. I'm seeing they're even now linking Chelsea with Elliot Anderson. They're just trying to sign so that fans can believe, oh, they have addressed the
Yeah.
issue. But you already lost the season. We're not going to be in the top 4. We are not going to win any cup. So there's not, even if they signed the prime Messi now, I still couldn't take their crap. That's how I am. Frank.
Yeah. See, the point is that we already know what is happening to our club. So honestly speaking, I don't want Cole Palmer to leave. I don't want Enzo Fernandez to leave because these are two good players that can impact a game. But if they leave, well, I won't stop them. They can leave. I won't stop them. But the point is that what will happen in the next few months from now is if things does not change fast, what will happen is that Chelsea fans will protest massively. They will stop buying tickets to the stadium to watch any match. They will stop buying jersey because there's no sponsor. So why are they buying the jersey? And with that, the club will lose revenue. And I feel that once the club will lose revenue, the owners will have no option but to do the right thing, or even better still, sell the club. Yeah, because all these American owners, they are after profit. So if they notice that profit is not coming into their pocket, they will have no option but to sell and retrieve their money. So that's my prediction. I'm thinking that's what Chelsea fans all over the world, or even in England, especially in England, that's what they're going to do, because where they have had enough, like they have lost it already. This is not a football club. This is like a team of boys coming to just showcase themselves and call themselves Chelsea. No, we're a football club. We know what we are representing. These owners don't even understand what it means to be a Chelsea. They don't understand Chelsea at all. Just came to buy, make profit, and go. They want to ruin a prestige club. We're not going to allow them. So that's my prediction. My prediction is if these fans protest massively, they don't buy tickets, massively, they don't buy their shirts, they don't patronize them, these owners are going to lose revenue and they will have no option but to sell the club or even make a drastic change to win the fans over. Because actually, if you don't win the fans over, then what are you doing as a owner? So they will have no option but to either win the fans over or sell the club and go look for another thing to invest their money into.
Thank you. So yeah, so they are going to probably try to gaslight us with a signing. We are also hearing talks that the Liam guy does not want to consider Sanchez as his number one. So that's another excuse. Like the club, I've already seen that Sanchez has picked up form. So they are looking for a way to try and get rid of him. And you can clearly see that is generally the scenario that is happening within the club. So just to close it, Mehdi, do you think that is the scenario that is going to happen?
Sorry, what?
The idea that they are going to try to sign a player to hoodwink the team.
I don't think they will. I genuinely don't think they will. I think these names are being thrown out to distract us, or to keep us, on edge. Like, we actually tried to sign big players, but it just didn't happen. We tried to improve the club just so they can tell the fans that. But genuinely, I don't think they will. And I think if by the end of the year we're not in the top four, they'll say, "Oh, it's understandable. Rosignol is new. He needs time. It's okay." It is gonna be one of those. So I don't think we're gonna sign another player. I think we'll finish the season in 9th, personally. And I think we'll be knocked out in the quarterfinals or the last 16 of the FA Cup. And I think we'll go out in the last 16 of the Champions League.
Okay. I do get it. Yeah. So I don't even know if we'll make it into the round of 16s in the Champions League. I've just heard you talking about it, but it is what it is. So guys, you can like the video. I just want to do something for you here as me and Mehdi prepare something to close it down. Just a minute.
Deep and all the baseline kicks and man. Yeah. Southwest London. With the vibe district, Long Beach, check it. Step in the room,
Mehdi, how did you find Christian's new jam for the live?
I think it's actually pretty good, to be honest. It's amazing that Christian is actually much older than us, yet he's able to use AI so well. It's actually pretty nice.
Yeah. I was trying to check it out. I'm seeing 16 people are here. Just like I see Frank had dropped out from the chat. I don't know if he had internet issues. He might have dropped out. Elba has gone, but I think it's been fruitful. Been really fruitful.
Yeah. Let's just hope.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Favor Boy is trolling. He's really trolling. He's a troll.
Darren, just ignore him, man. If you give him attention, he'll keep on texting.
Or is he Isaac in this guy?
Ah. We're somehow dancing in pain.
Yeah?
We're somehow dancing in pain. All of us, Chelsea fans.
Yeah, this is now a therapy music for the live. Is there to cool the emotions. Christian has not been here. He's not even dropped a comment. I don't know where.
Must be asleep, I guess.
Yeah? No, it's quite
Must
early.
be asleep.
It's
Okay.
9:40 here. So it's probably 7:40 wherever he is. So maybe he's at work or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. Whew.
Anyway, it was nice to have this live. Let it end and then we close, but it's almost over.
You just gonna do this at the end of every live.
No, it's just today. I just want to give credit to AZ. He did a great job.
For sure, for
Done.
sure.
Done. Yeah, anyway, thank you, Mehdi.
You too, Tyrone.